Yeah, so my name is Beth and I work with Safe and Simple. We are a manufacturer of ostomy products. We also do wound care. With ostomy, we primarily focus on accessories. So while we do have pouches, they're very basic and it's all the other accessories that we focus on. Um, Compared to a lot of the other ostomy companies on the market, we are considerably smaller than them, and I guess probably newer. We've been around since 2007, so we have a pretty good following. Our original product, and probably the one that we're best known for, is our peristoma cleanser and adhesive remover wipes. Oh, good. I'm glad that it looks like a couple people are familiar with them. So this is our original product, and we made this wipe because it's large. It's about the size of a baby wipe, and it's alcohol free. So there's no sting when you're using it. So as you can see, it's large, but it's good. It's still, despite the fact that there isn't alcohol in it, a pretty aggressive adhesive remover. So I've been I did an in-service a couple years ago and was kind of demoing paste, and I guess I didn't realize how sticky paste was, and I like kind of got it in my hands, and this wiped it right up. It took a little scrubbing, but got it off. So this is probably our main product. Like I said, what we're best known for. We have them in this baby wipe, kind of pouch, but then we also have them individually wrapped as well. So this is like our little sample 5-pack, but these are still large. So these are individually wrapped. We have these in boxes of 50 and 75. And these are nice just to kind of keep, in your purse or in your emergency kit that you might keep in, your glove compartment or whatever. So these are same thing as the others, but that's, like I said, probably our main product. From there, we developed, a little bit of everything. I mean, we have rings, deodorant, the barrier arcs, barrier sheets. We have, again, pouches, stoma caps, hernia belts we started doing a couple years ago. But two of the other things I wanted to talk to you about was, so we offer rings as well. So this is our skin barrier ring conforming seal. This is very comparable to an Ekin ring. Okay, so this is made with hydrocolloid. So it's gentle on the skin. It's pretty absorbent. We had originally made this other ring, the Integrity ring, which we still make, but it wasn't as absorbent. So it was, suitable for somebody with a colostomy, but not so much an ileostomy. This ring is a good all-around ring. And I'll show it to you really quick, but then I want to talk about one of our newer rings. So this is our 2-inch one, and this is, fully moldable. We have it in a 4-inch as well. But anyway, this ring was so popular that we recently developed a longevity ring, which is similar to this, but this is a dual formula hydrocolloid. So it's kind of like two rings pushed together. So one side is like the conforming seal, and then the other side has zinc oxide in it. So you can see It's really hard to see with the camera. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Anyway, one side is slightly whiter than the other side, and that's the side with the zinc in it. The benefit of this ring as opposed to the other is that if somebody has an issue with leakage, the side with the zinc oxide is not as absorbent. So you would want the zinc oxide side on your skin. So if there is any leakage coming from your pouch, it would be absorbed by the one side, but it's not going to go through to the other side. So you're not going to have to worry about any leakage right up against your skin. So, you know, if you have leakage issues, that could be a good ring for you. Again, the name is longevity, so, you know, it lasts for a long time as well. So if you are somebody that maybe just isn't getting the wear time that you would need from your pouch, or not your pouch, your ring, again, that could be a good ring for you to try. If you really have no issues, I would say the conforming seal is, you know, a great all-around ring. And then the other thing I wanted to just kind of mention really quick is that we have deodorants as well. So this, and I forgot to grab the other one. So this is our Ostomy pouch deodorant. This is our blue deodorant. So it's very comparable to like Hollister M9. We make another clear deodorant, a lubricating deodorant that's called Assure C. The bottle looks just like this, except it says Assure C, and it's clear instead of blue. You know, this is a good all-around odor eliminator. If you have a colostomy though, and, you know, pancaking is a concern, then I would recommend the Assure C. If that's not really an issue for you and, you know, odor elimination is more of a concern, this is a good product. Other than that, you know, like I said, we really have a little bit of everything. You know, I put my email in the chat, and I'm happy to send samples of any of these items or anything else that you might see, you know, if you want to check out our website, you know, you're more than welcome to do that. And I'm happy to send samples. But for now, you know, does anybody have any questions about any of these items, or, you know, maybe any of our other products? You're muted, Alice. I don't know how to.
I'll ask a question while Alice is trying to figure out her mute. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
So can you explain what the zinc oxide does? I've never heard that before. And pardon me for being ignorant.
No, you're
what
fine.
Does the zinc oxide on that part do?
So, okay, its primary purpose is to act as like a differentiator so that you can see the difference between the two sides. I mean, that's in and of itself is one of the main functions of the zinc, just to kind of add that whitish color. But at the same time, zinc, you know, we try and create a lot of products that are skin friendly. Zinc oxide is something that is, you know, good for the skin. So if somebody has, you know, skin irritation, sensitive skin, if they have been experiencing leakage, you know, and having kind of the raw skin, then the zinc would help with that as well.
How long have you guys had that?
Because the longevity ring?
Yeah. Is it a newer thing? Because I've never heard of it before.
It's newer. It's so hard to say because I feel like because of the past year, like I'm just completely thrown off by time. So I want to say we've had it for about a year and a half. but it could be a little longer than that, or it could be a little less than that. But
Sure.
we're going to say roughly a year and a half.
Well, to me, that's in the ostomy world that changes ever so very slowly. I
Yeah.
think that's new.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
new.
I would say it's new. I'd call it a new
It's new.
product. Yeah.
And then I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that you will send samples of your deodorizer and those rings if we request them.
I'll
Correct?
send samples of anything that's requested. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alice, you're unmuted now.
I figured out how to do it. I don't know. I kept touching it. Didn't do it. Anyway, a quick question. Are
Yeah.
any of those things that you were telling us about for sensitive skin?
So I would say all of these could be used for sensitive skin. The wipes in particular, I mean, these are alcohol free. So if you have sensitive skin, this is a great product. You know, we have barrier wipes as well that are alcohol free. As far as the rings are concerned, these are both made of hydrocolloids. Hydrocolloids are something that are used in wound care as well, you know, for wound healing. So absolutely, that's something that could be used for sensitive skin. And if that's an issue for you, another product that I always recommend is a skin barrier sheet, which is basically just a 4x4 hydrocolloid to put down first and, you know, put the other products on top of. And that's really good for protection if you have sensitive skin.
And
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
another thing I would say is that your ostomy deodorant does not have the hormone disruptors that the M9 does.
That's
And
right.
it works every bit as well. I really find it a lot. I mean, I use it exclusively. I'm
Good.
really happy with it.
Good, good. And you use the blue one, correct?
Mhm.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris?
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask about, you mentioned the skin barrier sheets. What exactly is that product? Like,
Hold on one second. All right. So this, I really like this product. It has so many uses. So this is just a 4x4 hydrocolloid. So it's on a paper backing right now, but it's a really thin thing. We
oh,
make
nice.
we make the exact same thing as a wound dressing, but this is the ostomy version of it. So you can see there's no hole cut out. Because you would still be using all your other products with this, I always tell people, while it's still on the backing, to kind of fold it in half and cut out a circle. Okay, you would put this down first. So this is good if you have a large area of raw skin. You know, if you have a lot of irritation around the stoma, this would help with it. If you have been using the same product for a long time and you really like it and suddenly you develop an allergy to it, you could continue using it, you know, on top of a skin barrier sheet. And then the other use that I've heard for it is, and I heard this from a support group, there was a gentleman going there. He happens to be using a 2-piece system. And his issue was he was a longtime ostomate. He had not changed up his routine or anything, you know, he was doing the same thing, but just all of a sudden he couldn't get his wafer to stick. Like it just wasn't staying on and he was having to change it a couple times a day. And, you know, with insurance, like doesn't cut it. So he was trying all these different things to try and get the wafer to stick, and he ended up using the skin barrier sheet. He put this down first, put the wafer on top of it. He then proceeded to get, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, but he got 30 days out of his wafer. I'd probably change the wafer before 30 days. My point though is that he went from having to change a couple times a day to it lasting for 30 days just because he used a skin barrier sheet. So this is one of those products that I think there's some products that like you're going to get in every order, you
Mhm.
get it all the time. This is something that, you're likely not going to need all the time, but it's kind of a good thing to have just in case because it has so many uses. And you could always, this is the same material as like those arcs. So you could always cut it,
Oh, okay.
and use it like a barrier strip as well.
We sell a lot of those. A lot.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, I love the products. I mean, I've used that little the little ones that you were talking about in the box. Yeah, I carry those around everywhere in my purse. They're
Good.
great. And I don't have skin issues. I attribute it to that because I used that product from the very beginning.
Oh, good.
So-
Is there some kind of video or something about that product? Because it's just so unique.
About the
And
white.
I think it would be great in the troubleshooting part, as
The barrier sheet.
troubleshooting. Yeah, the barrier sheet.
Yeah, it's a great
Oh.
product.
Honestly, I don't know that there is, but that's a good idea. And I'm going to suggest that because we've done a couple YouTube videos. It's probably been a while, but I think that would be a good one to, you're right, like talk about the different.
Well, I think that's so unique to you. And so, an alternative way of dealing with really terrible, horrible skin breakdown.
Yeah.
That I think patients deserve to know what their
I
options
agree.
are.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can
Yeah.
think of like 4
Okay.
patients right now that have asked
Right.
me questions, and I didn't even know about that product till just now. So
Yeah. I feel like it's a little known product that just doesn't get enough appreciation.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, Beth. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. You're staying up
Yeah.
late, and we
No,
have
no
time at the
problem.
end. Some people will be asking questions. If you want to stick around till then, fine, but we realize it's late.
Yeah, I'm going to
So-
stay on a little bit longer. I'll probably hop off in a little bit, but thank you for having me.
Okay.
And again, my email's there. Feel free to email,
Okay,
and I'll
thank you.
send
And I will
samples.
contact all of you who are presenting today, see if there's anything else you want to add and that I could send out to people who attended too. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Linda, this is Linda Zeck from New Hope. And she's here to tell us a little bit about that company.
Just like I'm going to grab my husband because he wants to hear this too. We love New Hope and he has to hear it. Bob, New Hope's on.
So how are y'all doing tonight?
We're good.
Good,
mhm.
good. I'm glad to hear that.
You're in Pacific time, right?
We're in Pacific time and this is like our first, our second evening of daylight savings. So I'm enjoying having a little extra light tonight. Although now I guess it's a real controversy about staying on daylight savings. I have a mixed opinion about it. I kind of thrive more on light than I do dark. So, okay, so it looks like we're all here, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so my name is Linda Zeck and I'm the ostomy nurse at New Hope Labs. And what I'm going to do is to try to give you a brief overview of what we provide and what we do. And then I did send to Sue some handouts, their electronic attachments, their troubleshooting guides for urinary diversions, for fecal diversions, how to like assess your stoma in the terms of like measuring it and taking pictures. So if you're, wanting to work with somebody, your local ostomy nurse, but virtually, or with us, we're happy to help you if you're having issues. Being able to take good photographs of your stoma and the surrounding contours makes all the difference in the world in us trying to help you to find something that's going to work, better for you if you're having difficulties with your pouching. And additionally, I sent along attachments for our hernia support belt guide. And then there's a newer guide that I recently developed, and it's a troubleshooting guide. So it answers a lot of questions that aren't in the main guide about the different accessory products that we have with our belts and how to kind of drill down and figure out, well, what size, what width of a belt do I need in terms of how tall the belt is, and it's kind of based on your contours, it's based on your hernias. And I was, always answering these same questions and sending out quick little fixes that I thought it's time to put it in a guide to help. So I think that if you have a belt or if you're interested, you'll find those helpful for you. And then additionally, on our website, which is simply newhope.com, and New Hope, if you just remember, it's NU and then hyphen HOPE, you'll be able to get easily onto our website or our emails. There are a variety of videos there that go through a lot of troubleshooting techniques with our hernia belts, and also some aspects of ostomy care. And some of you might be familiar, maybe not, but one of the unique things we do is, besides doing hernia belts, custom hernia belts, we also can do customized ostomy pouches. And with those, nurses will very frequently send molds to us. And what they are, it's an alginate mold. It's a dental material, dental alginate, and actually it will take an impression of your stoma and the surrounding contours and send it to us. And what this does is it allows us to take a look and see, what we can do to support in terms of the pouch contours, the shapes, the convexity. We can adjust convexities to make it a little deeper on one side and maybe a little more shallow on another. And what this does is that it eliminates that need to have to build up one side of your skin with extra barriers to try to make a flat plane. What we're going to do is customize the convexity so it'll sit down in your contours, so you'll have a much easier process with it. So it sounds a little crazy, but it works well. And if you think about this material, it goes into your mouth to take dental impressions. It will not hurt your skin, and it doesn't hurt your stoma. So you don't need to be afraid about that if you're having it done. I do suggest you have a nurse help you with it. It's not something you want to try to do on yourself. It's just a little too awkward. And there's a little bit of a learning curve on mixing the powder and the alginate to get it to the right consistency, so that it's either not too thin or too thick when you use it. Okay. So with our pouches, we have, traditional pouches that have adhesive, but we also do carry the BPI, the old BPI line of non-adhesive pouches. So there was a time that a company that had it before us was just going to retire the whole system. And New Hope realized that there's people out there that still use this product, and it has its niche. So we do carry that. And a non-adhesive pouching system consists of a pouch. It consists of a silicone O-ring that's sized to fit around your stoma. It's attached to a faceplate, a pouch, and a belt. And so literally it's just the belt holding pressure over the faceplate, and that silicone O-ring is what keeps it in place on your abdomen. And you can use it on virtually any type of stoma. So you can have a nice budded stoma, or you can have a flat, flush, or retracted stoma and still be able to use it. The contraindications for using non-adhesive would be, one, if you have a hernia, we certainly don't want to press on top of a hernia, or if you have an open abdominal wound. So if you've had recent surgery and you still have a healing wound that may be open, then that would be a contraindication. Minor skin irritations, you can use it, but if you've got major skin irritation around the stoma, maybe just from breakdown from stoma leaks, we would like to try to see that protected with the dressing and get healed up a little bit first. And because we are putting pressure down, we always want you to work with a local nurse so that they can work with you to look at the skin and make sure that you're doing well with that product. Okay. The catalog for the non-adhesive is in our main product guide, which you can see online if you have interest in that. If you have questions, certainly you can call us. Okay. Now, if you want to look at the guide, it's just www.newhope.com, and that on the first page you come onto, you'll see a product guide. If you just click on it, it opens up the product guide, and if you scroll down a little bit and click on it, you'll see a belt guide. You can open that up and see what's in the belt guide. And last, up at the top, you'll see a tab for videos. And if you click on videos, you'll be able to roll through that to see what types of videos are offered, there. So on our main ostomy products, the first thing that I want folks to know is that we don't carry two-piece products. It's something we've been working on in the background, but really haven't come up with something that we're happy with. So it's not something that we are utilizing at this point. Okay, we have ostomy products for both, oh, I shouldn't say for all, I should say all, urinary diversions, fecal diversions, and fistulas. Okay, and there are, we've got 5 different types of hydrocolloid barriers right now. So one is a standard wear barrier. 2 of them are extended wear that do well with urinary diversions. And then we have 2 moldable barriers. One that is very much like an Econ, and the other one is moldable, but it's a heck of a lot tackier. It's very, very sticky. And I use it cautiously because it has such a high tack, but it is an option. And definitely if you use that one, you'll want to use an adhesive remover to take it off. And of course, one that is alcohol free when you use that. Okay. So along with our pouches, they come in 2 different shapes. One would be a traditional round shaped pouch that you're used to seeing, and the other is an oval shape. And for some of you, and if you looked at your skin and you looked at your contours, particularly when you're sitting or you're moving or bending, you may see that, gee, my stoma sits in this nice little horizontal crease. And that's why sometimes more traditional round pouches don't fit as well. So oval shaped pouches work well on contours. And we can cut openings either round or oval shape for you. So we've got lots of dies there to cut these, which makes it nice. If you've got an oval shaped stoma, we can give you an oval shaped opening on your pouch. Okay. With closures, we have clamps, we have roll-ups, and for our fecal diversions, if you happen to have a high output ostomy, like an ileostomy that's just really on a short valve, we do outlets that are either a 1/2 inch diameter or 3/4 inch diameter, so it's easier to empty. And then you also have the option, if you want to connect it to nighttime drainage, you can, which allows you to get a little bit more rest, which is always a nice thing, you know. Pouch capacities, we make pouches that are sized for neonates, brand new babies, bigger babies, pediatrics, all the way up to adults. So we have pouches that are as small as 2 ounces up to 20 and 24 ounces for our standard pouches. And then as needed, we can go as high as like 32 or 40 ounces on pouches. And that may be for an exceptionally large stoma, or for somebody who may have a fistula and needs bigger drainage. So we've got lots of choices there. Now, support shields, we have a traditional support shield that offers a more firm support, and then we have a flexible support shield called NuFlex. And NuFlex is designed to bend with you. And one thing that's unique about our support shields that are built into the pouch is that it's a plastic that you can bend it or crease it, and it will retain the memory of that crease. So if you put a crease in it, like when we talk about oval pouches and having skin creases, it's not unusual to see that you often leak on the left or the right side. If you think of a clock face at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, you can put creases on these sides. And so when the pouch is on you, the pouch will bend into you as you move rather than wanting to pop off, which sometimes happens with your round shaped convexities. And it looks kind of scary the first time you do it. And you think you might, you know, am I going to wreck the pouch by bending it? But you can't hurt it. And we have real specific instructions on how to bend it. And that's included in the information that I sent out you know, to Sue. So you can take a look at that as well. Now with our urinary pouches, they have, we have different sizes in urinary pouches as well. And with our pouches, they have the basic backing is a foam pad with adhesive on which you can apply hydrocolloid barrier rings for either fecal or urinary pouches. And you can purchase rings separately to put on your pouch, and you have the option of either putting it on the back of the pouch and then putting the pouch down on your skin, or you can apply it around your stoma, whichever you think is easier. Although sometimes people find it a little awkward to try to line up a barrier and then get the pouch on quick enough before they have activity. So that's an option. If you purchase the urinary pouches with just the foam pad and adhesive, if you treat them nicely, you can reuse them again. So if you take them off carefully, we have a step-by-step process where you can wash and rinse the pouch, wash off the back of the pouch, let it dry. You can reapply our New Hope adhesive that comes in a bottle, apply a nice thin layer and let that dry, for about 24 hours. You can reuse the pouch. For individuals that are thrifty and want to do that, you can do that. If you have a hydrocolloid berry that have applied on the back of the pouch, then you cannot reuse them anymore. But it's kind of an interesting thing that you can do, and there are some people that opt to do that and really like doing that. Okay. Let me see. Is there anything else I want to tell you about the urinary pouches? We have flutter valves if you desire that, and a flutter valve is kind of like an anti-reflux valve that will prevent urine from backflowing onto your stoma. So you can ask for that if you'd like that. Now, we do offer samples both on our standard ostomy products, and we also offer them on our customized products. So if you are having an issue and you want help, you can either call us or you can email us. You can email us at info@newhope.com, or you can call and talk to our samples department, or you can call me as well or email me. And my email address is pretty easy. It's my first name, Linda, followed by the letter Z @newhope.com, and New Hope is NU-HOPE. So you can talk to me directly if you'd like to. Okay. Do you have any questions about our ostomy pouches?
We've got just a couple minutes here for questions. So if you've got them, ask them concisely, please. They sound interesting to me. Chris?
Yeah, I think
I don't have a question.
On mute.
I don't have a question, but I did get some help from Mickey at New Hope, and she was very helpful. And yeah, it was a long process, but she was very, very helpful through the whole thing because I was kind of a complicated
Sometimes it can take a few
situation.
tries.
It was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All
I
right.
will take the information that Linda sent, and we'll figure out how to either get you a link to it. Would it be okay if we posted some of that on our website, or should we not?
No, it's fine to do that. I have no problem. And if anybody, wants to either email me or, call or email New Hope, I can send it directly to you because we
Okay.
have all of these as electronic attachments, to make life
It
easier.
looked very
And
interesting.
I can snail mail them as well if somebody needs it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Linda. That was really interesting. I didn't know that much about New Hope.
I tried to cram in as much as I could in a short amount of time.
No, it is.
But wait, there's more. But yeah, we've done enough for tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
I just want to remind you again, if you would like the information, go into chat and put your name and email address, and we'll get all the information to you folks. The next person, I was going to separate the apps, and it didn't work out today. So we've got two apps together, and actually I have both of them. So that's an option. So we've got Donette Meredith, and she is in Southern California too. Donette, take it away.
Hold on one second. I'm trying to get up my, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay, my name is Donette. I live in Southern California. I have an ostomy. I've had an ostomy for 5 years. I am also the president of the Ostomy Association here in San Diego, and also the co-founder of the very first Ostomy Association and support group in Tijuana, Mexico, because I live 30 miles from the border. So that's just the reality that we live in, right? So been very involved. And if it's okay, I'm going to share my screen here. We'll see. Can everybody see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Good. So the app that is called Ostomy 101 is really about the tools and resources for living successfully with an ostomy. I'm going to try to change my view here. It started at the University of California Medical Center with a grant from the WOCN Society. So that's how we started it. And the grant was to begin to make new patient lifestyle classes. So these classes are run by a WOC nurse at the University of California Medical Center and myself, a trained ostomy patient. And it served 5 different hospital systems, 5 competing hospital systems. And I don't know if you're familiar with hospital systems, but wow, can they be competitive? So that was really something to be able to have them work together and send their patients there. But what we found out very quickly was that people come into university hospitals to get surgery from all over the United States. So what was happening is we were having requests from all over, and we weren't sure how to get patients the information that they were asking for. So what we did on February the 14th of 2020 is we expanded and we launched the Ostomy 101 app. So on Valentine's Day, so we're about 13 months old. And we really did it for a number of reasons. And that was really to, by the way, this is a mobile app, which means it's on your phone, it is on your tablet, but it's not on your computer. And we did it to help patients and empower patients, and to increase the accessibility of ostomy information, and to support the great work that clinicians are doing. So one of the first things that we did is we transitioned the in-person new patient classes online. That's one of the first things that we did. And I'm really happy to say that now, not only do we have them in English, but we have them in Spanish. Living here in Southern California, we have a lot of Spanish speaking people. So we have a certified wound ostomy and continence nurse and a trained ostomate who teach the Ostomy 101 new patient class on the same day at the same time as the English version, just 2 different Zoom meetings. Also on the app are WOC nurse-led ostomy education videos, and these are on demand and they're free. And by the way, the mobile app is free, and we are a nonprofit, and we have no paid employees, 0. We're all volunteers. The educational videos that are on the app are for adults and pediatrics. So these are done by WOC nurses, but we also have a really great, well-known pediatric ostomy nurse here in San Diego, and she did a series of videos for people who have kids that have ostomies, starting by age group all the way from newborn to college age. Then another thing that's on the app is if somebody lives in a place where they can't normally get to see an ostomy nurse, or maybe they don't have an outpatient clinic in their area, you can make an appointment with a certified ostomy nurse on the app through telemedicine. And like I said before, living in Southern California, a lot of people speak Spanish. So we actually have WOC nurse educational videos that are on demand as well. So we have a whole section that is just for Spanish speakers. And what we learned was that 70% of the app users that use our app are new ostomates. And so that's why we also have this part of the app, because it's about empowerment, it's about accessibility. So not only do we have ostomy lifestyle videos and blogs, we have information about pouches, accessories, recovery programs. You can order free samples from the app. You can learn about different suppliers that are out there. And we even have coupons for things accessories that aren't typically covered by insurance. We have coupons for those things. And then the last thing here that we have is events. We very quickly learned, especially during COVID, that, technology is great and wonderful and really helpful. However, sometimes you just want to talk to a human, right? So what we have done is we have created events. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But here's a QR code. And if you're not familiar with QR codes, you can open up your phone and you can point the camera like you're going to take a picture at that little code, and it will help you it'll prompt you to download the app, which is free. But anyway, back to the events. So we wanted to do our best to connect the patients who need support with the people who are giving support. So who is that? That's the UOAA support groups. That's who they are, right? So Over 40 support groups across the United States have posted their virtual support groups on the app. So literally coast to coast, you can attend any support group that is on there virtually. It's awesome. And I have attended support groups from Florida and New York and California and Nebraska. It's just been wonderful. And I've learned so much and I made some new friends with it. But to post as a support group onto the app, it costs nothing. It costs nothing for these support groups to post their meeting information on the app. It costs nothing to join. And then this is my favorite part, because I get so many Zoom invitations, they get lost in my email sometimes, and I go hunting them frantically at the last minute. So what's great about the Ostomy 101 app and joining events here is you go to the events section and you find the event. It's usually the one at the top. So they're in, or chronological order. You click it and you're in. So in one click from your phone, you can join a meeting anywhere in the United States. And I think that's great. Okay. One of the things that we discovered, I'm sorry, there's somebody's background there. One of the things that we discovered from the support group calling us and emailing us and giving us this information to put on the app was that we and myself included as a support group leader, sometimes we struggle to find speakers for our support group meetings, right? And I'm the same way. To find speakers for every month of the support group, it's really challenging. But at the same time that they were emailing me this, I also was joining these virtual support groups and really hearing a lot of fantastic speakers. And so it occurred to me, what if I could connect the dots? What if I could connect the people who are really good speakers to the people who need really good speakers, right? So that is exactly what we did. We created a speaker directory, and it's our way of supporting support groups. So we have a speaker directory, which is basically patients and manufacturers that are speakers. There is a speaker, more than enough speakers to cover every month of the year. All of the speakers are free. They have a 20 to 30-minute presentation, and this is all available on the app. So you can just click and look, and it's all free. So just to kind of recap, we are a nonprofit. This is a free mobile app. And here are some of the things that I have gone over that we've already talked about that are on the app. But the thing that's important at the bottom is we don't collect any data. So the only data that you send me is if you email me directly and have a question. So you don't really have to sign in. You can look around and be completely anonymous if you want to. So we don't do any data collection. And I know that technology sometimes gets this bad rap, but I'm going to tell you that sometimes technology can be powerful in helping people. The Ostomy 101 app was launched 13 months ago. 13 months ago. It has been downloaded in over 30 countries and in 27 languages. And as of this morning, I'm looking at my notes here, as of this morning, we were over 90,000 views. We have had people in, of course, the United States and Saudi Arabia and Peru and Croatia. And I was actually on a support group call last month where somebody from Kenya was calling in and joining the support group from Kenya. And I had no idea that when I hit that publish button, that it would be such a powerful vehicle for people to find the help and information that they need all around the world. So, we've all been in this situation. I know I have as an ostomate where I felt desperate to find help and information that I needed. And even though I had really great support at home, there were times, and there still have been times, when I feel like I'm alone in my struggle, right? Because I have support, but they don't really know, so I feel like I'm alone in my struggle. But I think the slide before this one with all of the all of the countries on it and all the places that the app has been downloaded and used shows us we're not alone. We're not alone at all. We're just not connected. And that's the problem. We're not alone. We're just not connected. We're not connected to the information that we need. And we're not connected to the people that we need. So what do? How do we fix it? First of all, I'm going to encourage you to download the app and then share it. Share it with other ostomates, share it with your support group, share it with your clinicians, tell people in your social media feeds, you know, that it's relevant to about the app. Because what happens then is if I tell 2 people and then you tell 2 people and then they tell 2 people, then we get connected. Now we're connecting people to the things that they need. And that's really what the Ostomy 101 app is about. So there you go. I mean, that was just a lot. And I started it with some ostomy nurses here, and here we are.
Good.
Do I have any questions?
Nope.
I just want to say it sounds great. You're a wonderful presenter, and I'm gonna get this downloaded, and I think it'll help. Wonderful.
I just signed up too.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And, you know, please do help spread the word. It's free. And this is all a result of my own experience. I mean, feeling like I spent 2 days in the hospital, 2 days for my ostomy surgery. So by the time I came out, I'm like, what happened? What do I, right? So these ostomy nurses that I work with here in Southern California, they're part of the Pacific Coast region of the WOCN Society. We kind of came together because they don't have the time that they want anymore just to educate you, right? And I feel lost. So we're trying to find a way to bridge the gap for them and their patients.
Well, good. One thing I noticed is we had a person contact us who speaks Spanish and was looking for a Spanish speaking group. So I looked all over the UOAA site and I looked all over your app and I sent her to UOAA Spanish portion of the site and tried to connect her to the Tijuana one. So
the Tijuana group also has support groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sent her there. And then I also, when you were just talking about having part of this app in Spanish, okay, I'm going to recommend that to her too.
Yeah. If you scroll down, you scroll down in the menu, there's a whole line that says en español and all the videos, everything is there.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Thank
you very much,
Thank you.
Dawnette. I've talked
Great
to you many
presentation.
times by email. It's good to see you.
Nice to
And
meet you.
appreciate it very much. Okay. Suzette, you've been waiting for a long time.
I'm looking at it. It's getting dark outside and I'm thinking I gotta go to bed. I start really early in the morning, so it's okay. I
Okay.
am Sue and I'm with Pharm-A-Save Medical Supply in Monroe, Washington. I didn't realize there'd be such a vast area that this meeting would be covering. That's pretty darn good. There's a lot of information out there. Good job, Sue. What my goal is listening to everything what everyone's had. I've picked up a lot of little perks here, the New Hope and the Osto Buddy, and then the last app with the Ostomy 101. We get so many people that are having their surgeries, like from our Evergreen and our Kirkland area and our Providence, and all of a sudden they're having their surgery, and just like she said, literally you have it done on Monday, you're home on Wednesday and you don't know what hit you besides a bottle of OxyContin. You don't have a clue what they even told you. You're still rummy. And we get so many people and family members that are literally just walking into our store and they're saying, we don't have anything. What do we do? So that's one of our assets, I guess it would be, is that we have it available in generic Hollister, Coloplast, Convatec, all of that. So if somebody got into a pickle, they can come and get some to get them through until Byram or Edge Park or some of those people, whoever's doing it, getting it to them. Then at least we're that interim to where they can utilize us for that. We use the safe and simple wipes that she talked about so much. And that's not given, I don't think, at the hospitals when people are being discharged. And that is like a godsend. I put together different packets for individuals. So when they come in, we get so much that's donated, because then all of a sudden, you've got Aunt Betty who now has stockpiled and now she's passed away and here's all this stuff. Well, they don't know what to do. And literally, because we're a retail, they just walk in and dump it off in a big bag or a box. Last weekend, I came in from the weekend. I went, what the heck is this? And I can't even tell you the amount of product that was sitting there. So we'll donate that. We pay it forward. I'll put together baggies and give it to our local hospital, local nursing homes, just to kind of have like a bag to get over the hump, until they get their product. We bill insurances, we do all of that, but I can't even begin to be competitive with New Hope. I can't even begin to be competitive with Byram or Edge Park, because they can take the loss on so much of this because they gain it somewhere else. We're just a small independent. We've been in business over 130 years, and I've been there 46 years. So that tells you how old I've been around the block with it. So times have changed. We've kind of just flowed with it. We're real lucky, like I say, though, that we have the opportunity to be able to kind of move stuff around. Ostomy nurses are coming and going, as with anything in this stuff anymore. Nothing is stationary. So keeping track of who our local ostomy nurse is a tough one. Evergreen has got them moving around too. So I no more than can say, oh, John, don't worry about it. You're going to go ahead and get a hold of Becky over at Prov. Well, the next thing is Becky has now retired from the last week when I spoke to her. So I have a hard time keeping up with staffing. So any help with that works out great. And I'm very appreciative to it. But other than that, though, literally everything now that I have gotten tonight as information, I'm going to put it in. I'll write it all up, put all these little information notes into my get well baggies. And that way, at least people have them. But I don't know it until somebody says it, just like this. And we've always dealt with New Hope, so I'm aware of that. But the OstoBuddy and then the Ostomy 101, people are just on their phones now. And these apps are like the thing. My daughter's doing her weight tracking. I gave up on all that crap. I'm not doing it. So, but these are all great tidbits. And so I'm very appreciative to it. So anything you ever get, send it my way, email me. It just goes right on in for info. Other than that, I don't know what else I can tell you, besides I'm old.
I know I have appreciated when I ran out of something to be able to call you and pay online and have you ship it to me.
Good. And shit, we do it all over the Washington state.
Good.
Anything we can, we will. There's no doubt about it.
Chris?
That's true. I was going to reiterate what she just said, because being local and being able to call and get a voice on the phone and not an answering machine, I mean, that's really helpful. And you've always been helpful when we've called and asked questions. So I just want to thank you for that.
We'll give you whatever we got.
Dee?
Could you say the name of the place again?
The name of our store is called Pharm-A-Save. It's Pharm-A-Save. And we're in Monroe.
Okay, Pharm-A-Save in Monroe.
Yep.
Are there any WCNs in Monroe now?
No,
I didn't
the
think
one
so.
that we did have, she went somewhere else, and I don't even know who any of our WOCNs are. I've called Prov and they have such a transition of people. I just don't know. I honestly have no idea. And it used to be we'd get the newsletter that always had different people that were listed.
Mhm.
And now that's kind of gone by the wayside, Eric. And
Well, we've had to cut back on the paper,
sure,
but we can
sure.
have you on the electronic version if you would like.
That would be great. Get
I
back
will,
on that.
yeah. And we updated the WCNs in the area as much as we could. We still can't
Good.
find some, but yeah,
Ugh.
let's stay in contact.
Oh, absolutely.
And we
Absolutely.
can, we can work together on stuff too. So,
Absolutely. No, more than happy to help. That's what our goal is.
well, boy, imagine our chapter president has leftover supplies at her place. Imagine if she got yours too, she'd be overwhelmed.
It's
Glad
a
you're taking
lot,
some.
but I'm kind of fortunate, not fortunate, whatever. My sister does a lot of missionary work over in Africa. And so this last time, and to send stuff to Africa is not an easy task.
Right.
And she lives actually in Iowa. And so they go over there and they do all this stuff. Well, then I will box up stuff as much as I can cram into 2 boxes that doesn't weigh over 45 pounds. And then I'll send that to her, and then she takes it off to Africa with her. And then she gives it to the missionaries in the hospitals over there. I don't know what else to do with it. We
I
give
have
it as
lots of
much as we.
ideas. There are lots of things that you can do with it. Do you know about Ostomy 211?
No. I'm writing
So
it down.
Ostomy 211 is in Oklahoma City. They're a
Yeah.
nonprofit, and they give ostomy supplies away. Debbie Fox is her name, and she's lovely. And they have a website too, and she's also on Facebook.
Okay, I'll look her up.
That might be close. That might be also, a close thing
Sure.
to do.
Sure.
And she does a great job.
I will look her up.
She does a great job. We have a ostomy supply closet in Tijuana. And that was really an interesting thing because like I said, I live close to the border. So you just hop over. This is before COVID. Hop over. You don't hop over.
When hopping was allowed.
When hopping was allowed, we hopped. So interestingly enough, we had, just regular boxes, nothing huge, but, a box of ostomy supplies. And we had a couple people going at a time because it's dangerous. Tijuana's dangerous. So you go as a group, right? So they stopped us on the Mexico side. They looked at what we had. They asked what it was. We told them. We even showed them our bellies. And they asked for $200 in cash per car. And as a tax, and we had to give it to them. And then they just stood there and split it between the border guards. And so we had to find ways to, I hate to say it, get it across.
No, I get it.
Because we're giving them away to
Right.
estimates into, they can't afford it.
No.
Right? So we just had to find all these really creative ways to get ostomy supplies across the border without of course they have the dogs and all that, and that's fine.
Sure.
But it was really tough. But there are 102 people that we give ostomy supplies to across the border a month.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
It's something.
and we do so much. We have a local wound center here in our town in Monroe. And of course, then we have so much of that. So when she was talking about the Safe and Simple, those wafers, oh man, alive, are those a godsend too for so many people that have ulcerated. And like the one lady was so sweet at the beginning when we were just kind of talking, or they were talking, and how she said her ostomy has a ditch, which is actually just a bad fistula. Those hydrocolloid barriers are fantastic. And we get a lot of those from individuals that have passed or no longer need. So we're sending off wound care items right and left too. So there's a need for all of it. And in today's insurance and the way stuff costs so ridiculous, people don't have access it's just becoming really, really hard. So whatever we get as samples or whatever we get as turned in, like I say, we just keep paying it forward and keep moving it. But that's what we do.
all
We
day long.
have lists of other places they can be donated to. So if you need
Okay,
something, let us
please.
know, because there are
Yes.
lots of places online. Kirkland has a supply closet. They pay 200 a month for storage for that, and they supply they supply over 30 people a month.
Wow.
Our president has a supply closet too.
Yeah.
It's much
Yep.
smaller. It's in her garage, but
What I would
Yeah.
like to do, if you all are willing, is this is something that I'm working on the app, where people, I would like to get a list of where people can send supplies to.
Good.
Oh,
Good.
wow.
If you have a place that you know of, I mean, I know about Osto Group, I know about the FOW,
Sure.
but other places, because people
Okay.
call me from all over, because we have a supply closet too. But you're talking to somebody in New York, they're like, I don't want to ship it to
Yeah.
California. Isn't there anywhere closer? And I go, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
If you know of a place, please email it to me and I
Mhm.
will put it up on the app.
Yep. Keep it moving forward. Keep paying it forward.
Sylvia is trying to say something. Sylvia, you need to unmute yourself.
Where are you, Sylvia?
let's
So
see.
you
if
have
I
to have,
can-
you have to leave it in the box, or can I put it in a Ziploc bag with the information? Because it would save space in the box.
Posted. Absolutely.
Because
I-
otherwise, you get your boxes, they take up room where I
That's
could
right.
put double the amount of pouches, so long as
In a
the
bag.
information's in the Ziploc bag. Is that okay?
That's what I sure do.
Well, that's
Okay.
Osto,
Yeah.
not Osto Group, Ostomy 211. That's the way
Yeah.
they prefer it,
Okay.
Okay,
right?
good. Okay.
So I know every group is different, and that's why I'd kind of like to get a running list of who accepts supplies and what do you get? You know, do you want
Right.
them in the box? Do you want them out of the box? You want to, you know,
Sure.
So if you put them in a zip top bag, do you put the lot
I
number?
put the lot number and everything in it, but
Okay.
it saves room because I can, as we all know. Good, because I'm
Absolutely.
saving them. I told you, I'm on number 13 with New Hope, so. Oh, well, they know who I am anyway now.
Other than that, any other questions?
I have a question, and this is,
Sure.
I hesitate to ask. Okay,
Please don't.
so I'm on Medicaid, a Medicare program, and they allot a certain amount of supplies a month.
All
Are
right,
you on Medicare or a Med Advantage?
I'm on a Med Advantage.
Okay.
it's different.
Yep.
Well, anyway, I can get X number of boxes of things a month,
Sure.
and it's more than I use. And at first I got them, and then it's like, I mean, I didn't have enough room for all this stuff. And so now I get way less. The thought occurs to me, what if I ordered as much as I can and then, you know, passed it along to somebody who needs it? I mean,
I
does
didn't hear
anybody
that.
do that?
Yeah. Nana.
We didn't hear that, but it's okay.
But you know what though? But you're asking a question that we get proposed every day practically. Some people want to start stockpiling because they don't know if they're going to be able to afford it, especially after their deductible has been met or they've hit their maximum out of pocket. Especially when you're talking just Medicare and a supplemental plan, because there's a lot of expense that goes into that because you're paying for your supplemental plan and blah, blah, blah. We get that more than you know. Again, stockpiling. I cannot tell you. I wish I had something here to even, the amount though, once you start, as you said, you keep getting all of this stuff. Well, you got to build another room for it then
Yes,
at the end of the day. And that's not good either, because then your kids are going to come behind you at some point and go, Mom, you've lost your mind. How come you have all this stuff? The thing, that's what happens though too, and I'm just going to say the name because it's just the local guy. When you have like Byram, and once they get you into a cycle and they see what it is, then you're on an auto ship per se. And they just keep jamming it because you got to figure they're making money. And the more they can keep sending out is what it is. And they don't care how much if you have to buy another room. Liberator or Liberty with condom catheters, and that's gone berserk too. That's really out of line. But that's what happens. You just keep going. It just keeps going. Yes,
I do-
ma'am.
I do want to say something that, I'm really glad that you're doing that. You're a blessing to so many people. But I think we do need to have some kind of like maybe a 2-month extra supply. I saw what happened to friends and family in Texas, and
Yes.
they were out of food like in 2 days because the trucks weren't coming in.
Right, right.
And the ice storm and everything. So we don't want to get it so that, we just have enough for that week or something.
Exactly.
I think
Oh,
at least
no.
a 2-month supply, because we don't know what's coming, what's happening.
Absolutely.
And
No, and you hate to use the word stockpile, but you want to be prepared.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't want to be caught without anything. Good grief, no.
All
Well,
But it's
Medicare doesn't want you to have more than 10 days worth when you reorder.
That's
And
right.
I do not know anybody on earth who tells the truth.
nobody would. I wouldn't. No
No.
way.
That's
And the Ostomy
ridiculous,
101
because
class,
if
because I-
a big storm came and you're without power and trucks aren't
Yeah.
coming in, like let's say you're in Maine or wherever,
Right.
that isn't good, because if you're down to your last thing, then what?
Absolutely.
I live in
Absolutely.
California. We have earthquakes, we have fires, we have mudslides. You
Santa
know,
Ana winds.
we have all kinds of crazy stuff. So we actually tell estimates that and we call it an emergency preparedness kit.
Yep. A bag.
Because California knows that you could be evacuated because of a fire.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
for
that's
I don't
kind of
know how
what we,
long.
and that's kind of even what we put in our little bag as information. And again, I'm going to put all these addresses and whatnot and information in there tomorrow. But you should always have that you guys have written the book. You got to have a bag in your car. You should have
Right.
something, another vehicle. I don't care if we had one guy who just kept a thing out in his garage and in his outhouse, and he had something everywhere. You got to be prepared. That's something that not everybody's going to have as a backup in their kitchen.
Well, like that
Right.
other woman was saying, she and I just use New Hope, that's
Yeah,
the pouches,
yeah.
because we have flesh stomas. And what are we gonna do if something happens there? If they're without power or
Absolutely.
something,
And
that's the only
you-
facility in the entire United States that makes them, so that's a little,
That's right.
unsettling.
And they're in
And
California.
if you go to the hospital with New Hope, they don't give you those supplies. You better have
Nope.
your own.
Right?
Because I
That's
was
right.
in there and I had my shopping bag with my 2 boxes ready to go because they didn't
Yep.
have them.
That's
So
right.
Exactly.
you gotta be, so once for the hospital, once for the emergency. You have to have them all. Ladies, I have to go. My phone is dying. It was a pleasure. I hope someday,
Pleasure.
I hope
Thank you,
someday
Sylvia.
when you get to Syracuse, you'll hook into us, okay? Thanks a lot. I've
Good.
learned an
Sylvia.
awful lot.
Nice to have
Thank
met you.
you.
Take care.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Bye.
Yep. And I'm ready to roll too. Tomorrow morning, 5:00 comes early.
Oh
my
my.
gosh. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
all
goodness
your
you weren't on
information.
the
Thank you.
west, or on the east
Very
coast.
informative.
Yes,
All
thank you.
right,
And
anytime.
Donette, good luck planning your daughter's wedding.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it.
Yes, you will.
Take care.
Thank you, Suzette.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's funny.